2022 midterms are over, and we're now in the next presidential election cycle, gearing up for 2024. Trump has already announced his candidacy. Many more Republicans and Democrats will be joining the fray. I want to help you prepare in a better way for this in 2024. Now, by hobby, I'm a presidential historian. If you come to my office right now, I'm looking at shelves and shelves of hardback presidential biographies, books about particular elections, presidential wives, the faith of presidents, on and on. I love reading this stuff, and I believe their stories are so unique and special. Every one of them should be taught in our schools to our kids. And this is the only country that has this history. No other country has this story of leadership like we've had. And I truly believe that every one of these, at least to this point, men, every one of them, they did this because they loved the country and they thought their leadership could just make it better. I don't think any of them were corrupt. None of them did it for personal gain. Not that that didn't happen in their administration, because every president brings in a ton of people, and some of them, well, it's questionable. But the presidents themselves, they are the purest that they can be. I think all the candidates to come into the next presidential cycle for 2024, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, every one of them, I believe right now, are pure in their motives of just loving the country, and they want to make it better and think they can do that. And so I want to help you make your decision, or how to look at these candidates from our historical background. I first want to mention a book by John Dickerson he wrote a couple of years ago called The Hardest Job in the World, speaking of the presidency, because it is. And the first thing I should say is stop voting for 80-year-olds. We just have to stop doing that. It really is a difficult job. But I want to say this more importantly. There is no one qualified for this job. Do not get into that argument. No candidate, no one ever is qualified for this job. No matter what your academic background, what your experience in life is, it will not set you up to handle this job. And there's really only one skill, one that stands above the rest, that is necessary for this job. And that is leadership in the midst of crisis. Because when you hear the candidates, and they're going to be promising their laundry list of stuff on issues and politics and, how they will do whatever, that never happens, because being president is just managing crisis after crisis, whether natural disaster or wars, financial collapse, or disease. I'm reminded of Donald Trump. I thought he was a great president. I loved his leadership style in dealing with foreign leaders, dealing with Congress, negotiating trade deals with other countries. But you know what? His leadership style with COVID was not good. I think it cost him the presidency in 2020. He couldn't adapt. It was a different thing. And it's too bad, because if he had been president, we would have no war in Ukraine. There would be no inflation, and the wall would have been finished on the southern border, and very little of a crisis. Please don't allow the press to make this a dirty thing, because that's what they love doing, as sensational as possible. Just look at this next election, and whether the candidate is male or female, whatever party they're a part of, just ask the question, you know what? How will they lead in a crisis? Because that is the most important thing.